This is a Success Journey media presentation. Welcome to the Power Channel. All rights reserved.
This is the thing too. We have to understand where people are in their lives, okay? Because that could prevent you from making a mistake, right? And not showing up for work, or not being able to complete your business because you're not there. Because now you have a whole nother headache because you have to deal with something because of the way that you've reacted. Okay, so you have to. A big part of this is understanding where people are, all right, in themselves and in their own life, all right. So a lot of people are dealing with a family history, a long family history, mental illness. They are, you know, and these same people, they don't know that that's what they have. They don't know, but if they want to talk to a clinical psychologist, a doctor will tell them, sir, ma'am, you have mental illness, sir. You have mental illness. It's mental illness. And a lot of, people, it's in their families. And it's just all throughout their family. So, it's a family history of this thing, right? So here they are, with the buffoonery and the clownery, and you don't know because of what you're dealing with from the other person, you don't know that they have this problem. They don't even know. But that's what that is. That's what that is. When the person is just acting out of their mind, that's not normal. Okay? It's not normal. It's not okay. Right? It's not regular. It's not. That's a sickness. That's mental illness. That's what that is. Yeah, sure. You probably seen it a lot growing up, or perhaps you've seen it a lot in your community, or maybe you've even seen it in your own family, some of your friends maybe, or whatever. That's mental illness, guys. That's what that is. So we have to know, the harassment and the ignorance and and the complete buffoonery and all of that kind of stuff that you could perhaps experience from people, that we get from people and their negativity, while we're climbing out of all of that and rising above all of that. What they're doing, a lot of them are sick. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to know what's out here. You got to know what you're dealing with. Okay? So that's the thing, mental illness. And another thing is to know that people have a preoccupation towards ignorance. They do. They can't even help it. They can't control it, number one, and they can't help it. It's just their character. It's just innate. It's their character. It's who they are, right? They just have a preoccupation towards ignorance. Like us as business people, entrepreneurs, and people who are striving, we have a preoccupation towards success, right? That's us. That's in us. That's our character, right? That's who we are. People like this, they have a preoccupation towards ignorance. They do. So you have to know that, and you have to have that understanding. Okay? So when and if it comes, you just have to, you have to have the knowledge to know, and the wisdom, to understand, like, okay, I know what this is, and deal with it accordingly. Excuse me. A lot of people are dealing with depression. Okay, people have self-hatred, and people suffer from low self-esteem. That's a big thing. Okay, so you got to understand. All right, somebody may be jealous of you. Okay, somebody may be bitter. A friend of your ex, when she sees you, she might always give you an ugly look or something, or somebody in her family, might see you and, just stupidly, try to bother you or something dumb like that, the thing about it is, you have to understand what's at the root of all of this behavior. Okay. Because a lot of times it's not you. You become the projected target, okay, for them to release upon, okay? You become the projected target because, someone says something about you, so, okay, so now that's who I get to kind of unload on or whatever. Okay, the thing about it is, a lot of people out here are not happy with who they are, with where they are, and with what's going on in their lives. They're unhappy. They're not at peace. They're depressed. They're sad. And a lot of people don't want to be here. Honestly, seriously, they don't. They don't, right? They just don't have the courage to follow through with it. So, so they just exist. But some people don't want to be here. They don't. They don't like their station in life, and they wish they weren't here. So a lot of people have a lot of real deep issues and problems that we aren't really aware of, that we don't have knowledge of, right? Because we're not close to them. We're not in their family. We don't, whatever, But I have a saying. Everything has a beginning. Okay? Everything comes from a place. Okay? So when people act out, when people do things and all of that, okay, like I said, you're just a projected target. But that thing, it's already in them. Even if it wasn't, even if you weren't even in the picture, it's in them anyway. And that's coming from somewhere. So that's what I mean by, having an understanding about where people are in their lives. You have to know how to navigate, through life and dealing with people. You have to know how to do that, okay? Look at the situation between Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and their family and that kind of situation and the whole thing. He's a billionaire, so he's at least financially, he's done very, very well, But again, look how it makes him look, in society, and I'm quite sure, different business people and all of that, perhaps probably look at it like, well, I don't know, because we don't know. I mean, just for an example, relationships, they affect us in business. They affect us actually in every aspect of our lives, actually. But as business people, as entrepreneurs, and people who are striving for excellent personal excellence and career excellence, and we're chasing the future, hey, we have to be careful and we have to be on point and we have to be sharp and we have to know what we're dealing with and what we're up against out here. You understand? We have to know that. We have to know what that thing is, right? It says that, it's like, it comes as a thief, ready to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay? Yeah, that's what the holy books say. They say that, right? And it's, it also talks about, having armor, being able to put on armor, right? And kind of know, how to handle this kind of stuff, right? Because it's gonna come in some kind of way, shape, or form, or capacity. It's gonna come. Doesn't always come through people. Doesn't always come through relationships, but oftentimes, because we're the human race and, the way that we, manage life is dealing with each other, it comes by way of relationships. So we have to know how to get through that. All right. So, just be mindful. Okay. And be careful. And just know that, a lot of times people have these issues, and you have to understand so that you don't get out of character, so that you don't break discipline, so that you don't get yourself in trouble. You have to know what that thing is, And a lot of people are in a bad place in their life, okay? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they're just defeated. You know what I mean? And they want to project that if they have the opportunity, or if they think that they have the opportunity. They want to project that thing onto you, right? Like they say, misery loves company, but don't allow it. All right, so looking at it from a different perspective now. This is the thing, okay? We always want to focus on the big picture, all right? The big picture. Remember, you have to stay vigilant. You have to stay vigilant, and you have to be smarter than everybody. I always say that. Be smarter than everybody else, be intelligent, okay? And you also want to be far-seeing. I talk about that a lot too, being able to see far out into the future, right? Later on down the line, and where you want to be, okay? And keeping what's most important as your top priority, all right? It's the number one thing, on your list of life, and at the center of your attention, okay? Just keeping what's most important, your health, your career, your business, your goals, getting your goals accomplished, becoming successful, and establishing your legacy. That's what's most important. That's the big picture. Crushing those goals, reaching those goals, doing what's necessary to meet those goals, not letting nothing or anything get in the way of that, becoming successful, and establishing your legacy, leaving your imprint on this earth, in this world. All right? And to bring it all to a close, we're special, okay? We're special people, all right? It's a reason that you're in the position that you're in, and you're where you are, and they aren't. And they are where they are. And it's a reason that they feel that they feel it, okay? That causes them to act a certain type of way. You're special, okay? And people aren't where you are. Understand that, right? Mentally, okay? And emotionally and spiritually. They aren't where you are. They don't have the sophistication, okay? They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the maturity. They don't have the growth. They don't, a lot of times, don't have the mental capacity, right? People aren't where you are, and understand that, okay? So, moving forward, just keep this as a reminder, and realize that, our connections and the people who we decide to attach ourselves to, a lot of times they determine what happens, with us, in the interim and down the line. So be smart, okay? And have knowledge, and have wisdom, all right? I always appreciate you guys. And again, I'll keep you posted. Once again, reporting live from South Beach. I'll see you guys soon, okay? Thank you very much.